So, new checkbox on assets called critical. So it's been applied to assets, it's been applied to multiple assets, it's been applied to asset templates. There are regulated environments where identifying critical equipment, and there's more to it than this, but this is at least an indicator so that when you're reporting, you can say, hey, we've identified these things as critical equipment in our environment, the reasons why and what you do with them documented separately, but at least you have an indicator. So that's very simple, nothing major about it. Here's a major change or a major addition, and let me be very clear about the rules here. We did some polling, and Art and Patty are well aware of this. Some of our other partners as well. We did some high-level polling and some research on what at one point in time was, the nirvana in space management, and that was, hey, I want to be able to set a grade on the space, and I want to set a grade or some attribute on my occupants, and then be able to say, am I in compliance? What do I have to change around? What do I have to do? In the U.S., 99% of the feedback we got back is they've abandoned that because they've gone to the whole new paradigm of flex space. The paradigms are just different in the U.S. and, quite frankly, in a large part of the Fortune 500. But there are places where people still want to accomplish it. So kicking and screaming and 90 hours worth of work in a week, we have added an engine to support that. Our current implementation, our out-of-the-box implementation is a one-to-one. So if I go to a space, I'm going to now have a new drop-down called grade that I can select the grade and add it to a space. I can go to occupants. Whoops, actually there they are. I can go to occupants, and I can add a grade to an occupant. And again, this is a one-to-one ratio right now. In the real world, there may be situations where people want to do, and I think Art and Patty, you guys talked about this. Hey, we have a space grade, but our occupants are in a quote-unquote band. In other words, the space grade is 1, and if the occupant grade is between 1 and 20, they get assigned to space 1. That is not part of what we're doing. The engine is there to support that, but any additional work on this will be something that is specific to clients, and we're going to need requirements to support it. That being said, we have propagated this throughout the entire system. So it's not just an attribute. Here's my space grades. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Here's my space grades, and I can tell you if a space is in compliance. In other words, is there a one-to-one match with the grade on the space and the occupant? So you can output this list in a spreadsheet and do with it what you will. So there's the grids, there's the attributes, and we have taken it all the way through. So I will go to Lightforce Partners, and I'll come to here because I think I did some work here. And we now have a theme. We actually have 2 themes. We have a grade theme. Show me the grades of my spaces. And so I showed you the grade. We also have grade compliance.
Oh.
So,
well, that's nice.
Because you can do this now, any report, any drawing report that accepts the theme, you have it. Tweak your report to show the data you want to show it. You now have the entire foundation to do the fundamental stuff, and it is not a kludge. It is an engine. It is a simple one-to-one, and I can't express this enough. It's a simple one-to-one relationship. If you have clients that want to implement this and their requirements are different, where we will absolutely support it, they're going to have to pay for any work that needs to be done to support it. But it is there, it is working, and it is entirely embedded in the system. So there you go. There we go. So I want to look at something in the October time. Well, actually, there's your example right there. I don't even have to go any further. You see how there's just very little information that I can show in that. We now have a popover. Anytime you hover over something, you're actually going to see more information about it, whatever that thing may be. So that's kind of been improved here. We have some more stuff that we're doing to improve this feature, but I just wanted to kind of call your attention to that piece. Let me go back to here, and what else have we done? Oh, as part of that, you now have the ability to change the color associated with somebody, which we didn't have until. It is all of our date ranges for virtually any date in the system. So here's where we've added these date range filters, and I'll just read through the list. For assets, purchase date, install date, warranty expiration, disposal date, and replacement date has been added. Range filters have been added to the assets grid. For service requests, work orders, and my work orders, kind of the whole maintenance collection, the requested date, the response due date, the target date, the completion due date, and the close date, date range filters have been added to all of those. So
the guy's job so much easier.
Yeah, giant leap forward. And because they're on the work order grids, that means they're also available in calendaring and scheduling, because that whole thing, calendaring and scheduling, is keyed off the grid that you're on at the time. So since those filters apply to these grids, those filters will also apply to your calendaring and scheduling.